getting ready for finals and watching collegiate championship.
I feel that. I think it's live right now. I was watching it yesterday.
Yeah.
The collegiate matches. Cool.
My school got knocked out the first day.
Oh. It was single elim?
Yeah, the single elim.
Damn.
I wasn't in there though because top 20 tank go Burr.
You know, yeah. Hey, maybe next year, right? Or next I forget how the collegiate next semester, I guess.
Yeah.
Cool. So what do you want to talk about with the Hog Kiriko comp? Like what do you already know?
Like I know it's like heavily pick dependent. But
Yeah.
at the same time, I'm not really used to like getting picks as a tank. I want to like make space and do that sort of thing. Is there
Okay.
like a way without
Well,
popping off?
You make space by the threat of your hook as well, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So I'll let it play as we I guess walk out. Right? So if there's like
You're not streaming.
Oh, I'm not streaming. That would make sense. Let me. How bad is this? Because my monitor's a little. So I can do it like that with no sound.
That's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, it looks fine.
Okay, because I know it's a little bright at some parts. If it's too bright, I can put it without sound and it will be fine. Okay.
It's all good.
Cool.
The only thing I would say is like, so this is the highest I've ever scrimmed. This is a 4.1 scrim, and I used to like just scrim like 3.6, 3.7, and then joined this team, and we've worked our way up from like 3.8 to 4.1, and we kind of held our own / rolled them a little bit.
Let's go.
The only time like I was getting matched was when we were playing Hog, and it was a Hog mirror, because I'm not good at Hog.
Okay. Well,
I don't understand the intricacies of Hog, even though he's a very simple hero.
So let's look at this way. When is Hog strong? Like what? Like just looking at his kit. Like what? When will he be a real big threat for the enemy team?
The beginning of a fight.
Beginning of the fight. Why?
Like pretty much whenever he has his hook up. Like,
yeah.
He's gonna have his hook at the beginning, and then he's gonna have his hook mid-fight.
Yeah. Right. So it's making sure you maximize your hook cooldown, right? And when you don't have hook, right? Are you scary?
You are not scary anymore.
No. Right. So we want to make sure that we're not like getting melted when we don't have our hook, right?
Okay.
So playing not like a Reinhardt, but making sure we have access to cover when we don't have our hook. There are a few fights, at least in this part of the map, where we'll peek around, and we just don't have our hook, and we're taking unnecessary risk, right? So instead of putting ourselves in an opportunity where we can get a pick, it's like it's the other way around. They can pick us off, right?
Okay.
And we're not getting much reward out of that, unless we're like point blank shooting a Lucio or Sojourn or something, right? So it's where POV. We spend a little bit. Pause. Yeah. There we go. Right. So yeah. So making sure that our pathing, right, that we have cover as much as possible, right? If there's open space, what's gonna happen to us?
We're gonna die in open space. There's nowhere for me to go.
Yeah, right. Or we get our cooldowns forced, and we have to run away, and all of that is just we're not putting ourselves in positions where we can get hooks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So where do we want to go?
Probably down through main.
Why?
Because like through this little doorway here, and then play around that little flower box.
Yeah, like here?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have pretty good cover, right? The enemy team has to come in here, right? The objective is here. You can be here. You can kind of walk around if they're like over here. If they're on high ground, you can maybe look for a hook, right? And you're chilling. Right. We also have our Lucio. He's your little personal speed bot. So since you're in scrims, don't be afraid to ask for, speed boost and amp, right, to get to better positions, right? Yeah. Let me kind of come back this way. Yeah. So you're just committing to one to the other. If your whole team wants to go this way, and we
Yeah.
can, but I kind of, like you said, I like this spot, right? Because if we replay the fight as they're crossing, we're this big threat, right? We see them walking around. We can maybe peek, hook the Sojourn. There's a Tracer and Kiriko. Maybe we can try and hook. Maybe we can hook this Hog into open space, and then your team can just shoot him, right? We can all shoot. Maybe your Kiriko's with you here. Maybe your Sojourn's here or something, right? Yeah.
So just need to communicate more where we should be playing.
Yeah.
Or at least where I want to play.
Yeah. Because it's like, if they look at you, right, here.
Everyone else gets space.
Yeah, everyone gets space, but it also means your Sojourn can get, can get a pick. Your Kiriko can get a pick. Your Echo maybe can get a pick. Yeah. We don't really want to all be stacked, because then it's a little harder for everyone. So let's look at this next fight, right? We walk around, right? So right here, do we have good cover walking around here?
Not at all.
We have the payload, but like it doesn't do much. We see a Kiriko over there. We know someone's on the point. Maybe they're Lucio Tracer. Their Hog's coming back. We could walk up through here, right? And we can pressure whoever's on cart. Maybe hook their soldier, and maybe, if we want to drop, we can. Right? We go for a hook. Maybe do some poke. Let's say we miss our hook. Then we can walk around here. We'll have our hook in like the next 3-ish seconds, and then maybe we look for a hook around here. Well, throughout all of that, we have cover. We can not only block Hog hook. Maybe we don't need to use our breather because we can just get healed a little bit. Right? Yeah. Right, and that's kind of going to be the theme looking through this. I kind of skimmed through it in double speed when you sent it. Right.
So I know, at the beginning of maps, I really struggle because I'm trying to figure out how I'm supposed to be playing around it.
Yeah.
And then middle to the end, I start to get it.
And that's good. Right.
But it'd be nice to know what I'm supposed to do at the beginning, so I don't have to figure out mid-game. And
yeah, you always want to come in with an idea of what you want to do, right?
Yeah.
If you're playing a poke comp, you want to take angles, play cover, right? When they walk through your spot, you shoot them, right? Your kill box. You have that generated, and then you're just adapting that plan to what the enemy team is playing, right? So you're coming in okay, I want to play for hooks, play cover, right? Now that they have these heroes, we might have to play a little differently. And that's what you're adapting throughout the game, right? And then another thing too, just to add on to that, I think people underrate this a lot in scrims. If you really are 2 minutes into a game, 3 minutes, and you have no idea what to do, your whole team, just ask for a pause and spend 2 minutes talking, right? Because that way you can get, scrims are for learning, right? The enemy team can wait for 2 minutes. You guys, now you get more value out of that entire map, as opposed to just getting rolled the entire map, right?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Right, so looking at this Roadhog, right, what are you able to do to him? Right? He gets no value out of his hook, because you guys are on cover, and what else are you able to do to him? Right here.
You get a headshot.
Yeah, you can poke him out. And now you didn't use any of your cooldowns, and you forced both of his. Right? The Roadhog should be in here, right? Just shooting, right? So that way his breather doesn't get forced, and he has, he can still go for hooks. But he just took so much damage because he was in the open, right? And then they're down cooldowns. Maybe we drop.
Yeah.
That's fine. Right?
Now I'm standing in open space.
Yeah. So maybe if we just lean over here, but we hit the hook and killed him, right? And then we just saw how much damage he took after. Kill him. And then just making sure you can get chunked down, right? So let's look at this next fight. What do you want to do? We won the fight. Where do we want to go?
We're gonna start playing in mid.
Mid?
Be able to control pushing the bot.
Right. Okay. We're kind of in the middle. Now what?
I need to pick a spot.
Why?
Because that is That's rough.
This is rough. Yeah. Look, like you said, we walk up here, we push these people out, right? Because if we keep pushing bot, they're just going to continue to surround us, and then hence we won't have cover, hence we just kind of die, right? So yeah, we can play right, maybe push the Kiriko out, we can push far left, push this soldier out, maybe kill her, right? Just making sure we do one of those, because now we're just really rough for us. Qs are pressed. Yeah, I mean right now it's more of like what your team is calling, because they just pressed 3 Qs, 4 Qs, right? And how you guys are reacting to that. Yeah. So what do we want to do right now? Right, so after this fight, after all the Qs are pressed, we gotta pick, right? Where do we want to go?
Advantage.
We want to press our advantage, or how can we do that?
Yeah, I could have flanked and gone for a hook on the left here. Because I feel like if I did that, I have the chance of like just more cover.
Yes.
But since I'm walking down main, if they chose to peek, they'd force both of my cooldowns, and I'd just have to leave, and I'd probably die.
Yeah, right. So we'd have to like just hug this payload, which is pretty slow and doesn't let us push our advantage. We can push left here, and maybe where's our soldier? Am I blind? Oh, soldier's here. Yeah, so maybe our soldier will push main or something, right? As we push left with our Kiriko, with our Lucio, right? So we have support if we get hooked or whatever, right? And then maybe we pick off their Lucio or Sojourn right here, right? And again, like you said, we have cover, right? So maybe our breather doesn't get forced unless we get hooked, which will probably live, especially with Suzu, right? Yeah. But then their hog kind of does the, same thing. Yeah. And then I think this is a good point to talk about something else. So if we went up here, we got a hook, or we tried to get a hook and it didn't work, right? Would we have a hook the next time we want it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could go for here, maybe it doesn't work, and if we want to go main, payload push a little bit, we'll definitely have a hook, right? So it's just getting more value out of the cooldown. Right, and if we look at this fight, right? You want to see when we go for the hook. This is good, we're hugging cover. Right? We're on the move. Yeah, I want this is... No, it's another fight I'm talking about. Yeah, it's just... We go back. We have
He's gotten like 3 hooks in the time that I've done one.
Right? We could have thrown a hook, waited, thrown another hook, right? And again, if you want to call for your Lucio, we see that the hog's main, maybe we want to call for Lucio mid-fight to push left, right? Now we have a good angle here. Our Sojourn is probably playing somewhere over here, right? And our Echo is probably on cart somewhere. Or maybe our Kiriko is on cart and Lucio comes with you or something, right? So you can always TP whenever you need it. Right? It's just putting yourselves in positions where you have cover, you're able to get a hook, and then doing that every single time you have hook. Around. Our Echo gets a good pick, right? But we just won this fight. It was the next fight when the enemy team beats. So this was good, right? We have our hook, we have our breather, we push a position, right? It doesn't work out, but it doesn't cost us anything, right?
Yeah.
We use our cooldowns, but we'll have it back by the time the next team fight happens. We go for another hook. It's okay. Alright, so right now, where do we want to be?
I feel like this is kind of a mid spot, because they can just drop and surround me.
Okay, so how can we prevent that? What other spots of cover can we play?
I could have played farther back in like that little tunnel thing, or played where my Sojourn is, or in the gym.
Yeah, we could play in here, right? We could play it, like you said, over here. This is the tunnel you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can play here. We can hook their hog in, right? We have cover. Everything is in front of us. We don't get surrounded here. It's not terrible, but like you said, it's kind of mid.
It's kind of mid.
Yeah. Right? And especially as the fight devolves, right? We use our breather, but that breather doesn't take us to cover, right? And we still just get chomped down and die. Right. So even if our our Lucio still died, right? We killed the tracer, so it'd still be even. So again, once you have space, looking for what spots do I have cover, right? And then that still allows you to get hooks. So let's see, where do we want to go on this next fight? Right? Do we want to hold this corner?
Yeah.
Or where are we going? Yeah. See. If we hit the tracer, we get a pick. If we don't, it doesn't really cost us anything, right? We'll have it by the time they push. Right? We're turning the corner. And look, we have our hook. Right?
He doesn't have breathing.
And he does. Nice. That was good. This next fight. So where do we want to hold for this next fight? Right? We just killed their Roadhog. Where do we want to be?
Probably gym again.
Why?
Because the card's still at like the same spot, and we want to hold enough space where we get forward spawns again.
Yeah, and
we don't want to like give up space.
Yeah, and there's no real risk too, right? If you get scared, you just drop, and now you're here anyway, right? And if you don't get forced out, maybe you just start picking people off. The Roadhog's dead. Oh, you get another pick. Oh, now their soldier's dead. Oh, now you can push up a little bit. Oh, their Lucio's dead or whatever, right?
I could be using this time to do that, so.
Yeah, we're meleeing the wall. It's okay. And again, it's if we miss our hook, it's okay. We'll have it when the fight really happens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it's again like same thing here. We're just on cart, but we could be in here, right? We could be right-clicking their hog, right-clicking the hog, or just hooking one of their supports and killing them, right? We don't even have to peek the Roadhog. Then we're on point. And then the whole team kind of crumbles around us. Okay. I like this. I think we go for another hook here. Fine. Where can we go for another hook? That's pretty.
Gym.
Gym, right? Again, it's looking for these spots where they're, everyone is looking this direction. Not only because the payload's here, because it just, it's the default line, right?
If I force them to look more than one direction, it makes it a lot harder.
And what does that do for the rest of our team?
Gives them space.
Yeah, right?
Angles.
We create space by just the threat of the hog. If they don't know where the hog is, they're just terrified, right? But if he's just always in front of us, they're like, oh, okay, well now this soldier knows she can play anywhere in the map because the hog will always be on the bot, right?
Yeah.
So we peek here. Oh, maybe we hook this soldier. Maybe we look down, hook this tracer, right? And we have cover, so we can, we see their hog, block cover of the hog, hook someone else. Right. And then we go for the hook. Now, we don't have our hook. So are we, it's what I said at the start. Are we scary right now?
Not at all.
So should we be putting ourselves in positions where we can
I should have backed
picked?
up instead of pushing the bot.
Yeah, we back up and just chill here, right? We pushed the bot 2 more meters, right? But that, we're not even...
Didn't matter at all.
Yeah, we're not even moving the marker, right? So we chill here, we shoot some right clicks in this Roadhog, just like you were up here, and maybe we can force his breather, right? Because we have cover, he doesn't. He has, a bot that's like partial cover. Put some right clicks, force his breather, then you walk up and kill him once you have your hook back. Or shoot a little bit of right click, shoot a little bit of right clicks, reload. As you reload, it's a good time to make like small rotations. You reload, finishes here, and now you hook someone else in their back line. and then maybe drop if you want to once you got a pick. Right? So a lot of just making sure you have cover so your cooldowns don't get forced, and then breaking that cover if we need to when we have our hook, and then once it's back, we repeat again. This is good. We were in the gym. They whole hog us away. We beat. Right. So right now, we're about to have our hook back, right, and our breather. So could we peek for a second to maybe hook something?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like your echo's already like peeking the soldier note, right? Yeah. So we'd be like 2 seconds back on our second hook, right?
Yeah.
And every time it's just an opportunity for a pick, right? We could have also used that time to make a rotation and wrap behind with our Lucio, right? Because like what else is this Lucio doing, right?
Yeah, that's true. He has said something about that. He's like, what am I supposed to do as Lucio in this comp?
Right?
I'm like, just speed people, I guess.
Yeah.
But I never really make use of it.
Yeah, and that you're the one that's calling that speed, right?
Yeah.
And this, this might take a few seconds, right? But you can amp and do it really quick. I don't think any of you guys died, right? No, none of you died. So you could be here like right now, right, back playing gym, and it allows your sojourn. It makes your sojourn's angle that much more powerful. And this is how you make space. There's a hog here. They have to look at you, or they just get hooked and die, and that's really good for you, right?
Yeah.
But we don't use any. You don't use this time to even throw a hook, to make a rotation. We cure ult, so we'll probably just fuck them up. Yeah. Oh, that was close. And then it's kind of the same thing here, right? Last time, last fight we were here, just hugging this gym, right? So we don't get poked. And also, what's up here? We got a Soljin just chunking us down, right? It's a little harder, and at least we have control over that in here. We don't have control right now. So where do we want to go?
Or just go for an early hook again and then
Exactly. Right.
wait for Jim.
Yeah, right here. Maybe we hooked our Kiriko. Maybe we hooked our Sojourn. Right? When do we go for a hook? Yeah, we'd have our hook back in like 2 seconds or like a second if we went for an early hook. And again, if you miss it, it doesn't matter, right? Because you'd have it back right now anyway, right? Yeah, this is good. We played cover with the Roadhog, right? And then once the Roadhog's dead, we're not really scared of that much. So we just walk up. Nice. So same thing. What position do we want to take that we've been talking about?
Jim.
Jim. Right. This is like the next checkpoint that if we can fight for, or at least just wrap around this left side, wrap around this.
Instead of playing down main where you can get bursted.
Yeah. We really want this Tracy? Oh, she dies. Yeah. And then just looking at this, well, what's the problem with this like picture?
I'm in the open.
Yeah, right. We're like,
I'm just standing.
That's what we're thinking. Like, oh fuck, maybe go to this plant, right? Hide behind the plant, hug this right side, but then we gotta watch out for them coming through here, right? So maybe run to the bot, or like push into them or something with an ultimate. We don't have that though. So yeah.
It's taking a lot of unnecessary poke.
Yeah, and then I think we just die here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I mean, we don't need 5 people looking at one tracer, right? We could have pushed up and
taking space.
Yeah, we could have been over here already. If they're all on that side of the map, okay, well the bot's over here.
They have to contest the bot. So.
Yeah, they have to contest the marker, right? And then now they're all coming from this. It would be like this area, and we have cover. We can hook them. They're all in front of us. If they decide to go left, like main, you can hook there, right? And you're chilling. And maybe we push up to like this corner or something if we want, or maybe this if we want to play here, right? Like where's the next opportunity for a hook, right? And I still have cover to play around, so you can get in the cycle your cooldowns, right? So right now we can peek, right? We know that they're turning the corner, right? So maybe there's people pushed up a little early. As soon as we see their hog, we can crouch or hug the corner so we don't get hooked, right? And maybe we just peek right now, hook their soldier, free pick, right? But we're we're meleeing.
She's always playing in that spot, so.
Yeah.
I've never contested it.
And right here, right? Everyone is already looking this way. Their Kiriko's looking, their Soldrin's looking. Everyone's looking this way by default, you know? And then again, as soon as you miss your hook, right? We don't need to be, taking more damage. We miss the hook, and then we run away right away into here. Right? This spot kind of traps us.
Yeah.
That's not the button. Yeah.
Especially when the Sojourn E's.
Yeah. This is really good though. Hog 9, you know? Big. But yeah, just really making sure, cover when we don't have our cooldowns, right? Getting that pressure, and then just looking for more opportunities to hooks, and then playing positions that give you those opportunities, right? When you can, right?
Because, like, now that I'm looking at it, I'm not worse than their hog. It's just I was playing in worse spots. Like I was just out in the open all the time. Yeah,
right. And we get chunked down. It's just more pressure on us. And also, it's like what you said at the start. Like, how do you create space on hog? Right? We're not, playing always in the open and not being as creative, especially when we have the Lucio. Right? Just puts less pressure on the enemy team. Yeah. Right. So we can look at the next map. We have Circuit Royale. Cool. So what are we thinking on the Sigma here?
If you're giving out money, I'll take it. Not you.
Hey.
So like mostly defense, honestly. But like attacking this, it's basically like first point. I struggle on first point.
Okay.
Where am I supposed to defend?
Yeah, we can go to defense real quick.
On first point, I am lost.
So, did you play a lot of double shield in Overwatch 1 as the Sigma or the other?
Yeah, I played both.
Okay, so what do you want as that comp overall, right?
Long angles and hard rotation for the other team to get to you.
Hard for them to get to. What makes the enemy team's rotation hard?
High ground.
High ground, and what else?
They have to go into open space.
They have to go into open space. Well, what punishes them when they go into open space, right? Because like you can cross like this open space, right? We can cross this open space by blocking your high ground advantage by hugging this wall, right?
Yeah.
Right. Maybe throwing a shield. So what makes this open space hard is if there's a Widow here. Well, let's say that Widow is Sig shielded. Well, shit, we have no cover, right?
Yeah.
So it's the setting up these crossfires. In Overwatch 1, you really wanted to control like all 3 lanes on double shield. That's like what a lot of people, referred it to. It's a little harder with one tank here. So at least we definitely want at least two angles, 2 lanes on them, right? So if we're on defense on first point, let's actually start, right? On this first area, the only 2 angles that we can have are this arrow and this arrow, right?
Yeah, I've seen... I totally troll this. Like, it's just straight up my fault we lose first point.
Well, that's okay. We'll...
Because I've been told the car is a good spot to stand. and I've tried it sometimes, and it sometimes works.
It sometimes.
This is
right?
one of those cases where it did not work at all.
What we want to keep in mind is what's the best. Let me like zoom out really far. Like what's the best spot to hold in all of first point? Let me see. I guess like that you can see all of first point.
The turn there.
Like this right below me, right here.
Or this either turn. That or that one. Yeah. Actually,
what makes this turn really good to hold?
It's one direction.
Like
kind of just like angle, and they have to go so wide for them to like get you guys because there's a corner. It's corner to open space.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it sucks for them. And how can we punish them for being in this open space? Right? Again, we can send someone all the way back here. Yeah. We can have someone up here. We can have you maybe like around here or in here. Right? Like we can set up really good angles. If we look at the first half of the map, it's like not as good, right?
Yeah.
You only have like this spot. Maybe someone's up here, someone's shooting mate, and that's it, right? But you can get a lot more options on the second half. So we hold first as long as we can, especially in scrim settings, but we don't die for it. Unless we get like Widow headshot, there's not much you can do about that, right? But if we have the option, we hold as soon as we get under too much pressure, we kite back and set up for the next half of the map, right?
Yeah.
So let's look when the game starts.
Yeah, I'm like, this would be possibly a good idea. Drops off the high ground and plays next to the car, and they just rotate high ground. Sigma takes the high ground, forces out my supports, and I'm just stuck.
Right. So what happened? What did the enemy team do? They set up 2 angles on this position.
Yeah.
Right.
They did the thing we were supposed to do.
Exactly right, and that's the main thing with like the Sigma poke comp, right? If you're on attack, if you're attacking in a point, right, and the enemy team's holding a spot, how can we set up multiple angles on them, right, and take as little damage on our side, right? So maybe you cross this spot using suck, and then you peek up here with your cooldowns, right, and as Sigma, right? Kind of like what they're doing.
Yeah.
On defense, we hold this as long as we can, and once we can't, we back up for the next spot, or we just use ultimates, right?
Yeah.
To hold it. Yeah. Oh my god, the audio just is terrible in Circuit Royale. I do two skips and then everything dies.
Is that like a bug?
Yeah, it's a bug with the replay viewer.
That's dumb.
Yeah, like the audio gets all crunchy if I do too many fast forwards and it sounds terrible. Yeah. I'm try to not do that.
So yeah, we just lose first point because of this.
Yeah. Yeah, and then what's, kind of like Hog, but what's, Sigma doesn't really like open space,
Yeah.
Same thing, with Orisa and Overwatch 1, we want to use Arc Shield as an extension of cover. Sigma doesn't even need to use his shield that much. Like, if he shoots, hides, and then you never use your shield, never use your suck. The problem with the car is you can always take damage. Right? Even if you're crouching and you just always take damage.
I think the car would be good against like a slow comp that doesn't have the Sigma.
Yeah.
But
hey,
I think just holding high ground much better.
Yeah, right. We set up these crossfires, puts a lot more pressure on them. Let's see. And then this is that scenario where I was talking to you about, right? Where, we don't have to die for this first point. We see that they take this first half, they take it. Okay, we set up for the next half. Right? Where we can really develop our angles. So it's less,
yeah. First point was just terrible.
Yeah.
Sorry, just a quick question. Tim, is this just on my side, or is this like maximum fucking gamma?
It's maximum brightness. Yeah.
It's so bright. Have you ever played Ark in the day? That's what it looks like.
I can do I can do this, but then there's no audio and it's like really dull. So
that's fine.
Yeah.
I wasn't really worried about it.
I was just curious if like my monitor was fucked up. It's fine. Do it, Dave.
Okay. Yeah. I'll put it back with audio. At least we can hear things. There we go. So, was it just first point? Or did you want to look out throughout the whole map?
like, I think we're good like defending second point. I feel fine doing that, but I want to like attacking third point.
Okay, so let's go back to our attack.
It's like it's pretty hard to just take it away from.
The audio gets all crunchy again. Okay. No, go back here. Okay. Fast forward. We're coming into third with a pretty good time bank. So what do we want to do on third point? Or how do we want to push this? What are we thinking? Take high ground? Why?
Because then we can angle on them.
Yeah, right? So we force them back. So that's the first thing we're thinking right now, right?
Yeah.
Because if they just push through main and we're up here, well now we have our snipers like over here, or maybe over here, right? So they can't stay in this spot, right? We set up a really good like passive advantage with our angles, right?
A lot of times I like get into this thing where I just have to swap to Winston on this point because it's so hard.
Winston is fine too, right? Yeah. The only hard part might be like crossing this open space to start, but once you get into this later half, he's pretty good. So the one thing here, I did watch this back. Your BAP just is not with you, right? As you're taking side ground, that's something you shouldn't have to communicate, but just be aware of. Right?
Yeah,
so,
that was drop the ball.
Yeah, because like
I was trying to figure out who to put on cart, and I was like, BAP.
Yeah, so like if you're
Not the decision.
BAP is fine on cart if you're just not going to be taking much damage, right? If you're like maybe you're already on high ground, you know the enemy team's low ground, you're fine, right?
Because if we would have had our BAP there, we would have had ammo for this flux that happens.
Right, and not only that, just the increased healing, right? If we look at this. Right, you just get chunked down. We'd have lamp for this. You'd get healed, right? And we would you know be chilling.
Yeah.
Another thing too is we took the risk. We got the Zen pick. We can come back to cover and get our cooldowns.
Reevaluate.
Right. Right. Especially like regardless whoever's on cart, they're not having much impact on the fight. Right. Whoever's on cart. Right. They're just not doing that much. So we took the risk. We got the Zen pick and then just chill, and then maybe repick once you have your shield and suck again. Right. Because I believe you have to use one of those for that pick. Oh, he just died. Yeah. But either way, we're pushing into open space, right?
Yeah.
The flux is just away. Good. Let's look at next fight. Actuating the barrier. Right. This is good that we take it right away, right? Because we got picks. They're still coming back. We force them back. Nice. Alright, so where do we want, we can try to retake high ground, right? We also have ultimates, so maybe even if there are people on high ground, we still have Flux, Dragon, ults.
Yeah.
Right? That's really up to you and how how you guys want to take that from a fight planning perspective. Right, just being aware that the enemy team will have people on high ground, right? Yeah. So what were we thinking this fight?
I should have just walked to high ground, but I was thinking I should take this open space and stand out in the middle of the open.
Right. So
let them shoot down on me.
Both are okay because we have enough ultimates. We're coming on 5 ults, right? Because really how we're going to deal with the people on high ground, right? Are we going to flux them and try and kill them, and then Dragon point? After they trance, or and then maybe we send our Sojourn up top, right? And they come with a railgun, right? If we're not going to rotate collectively. Yeah. Right, so let's see how we use our ultimates. Right? I'm pretty sure we flux the BAP. right? I just want to see something. Yeah. Why don't we take high ground with our flux too? Right? It's another
True.
option. Yeah.
Would have put more pressure on the BAP.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think it's more of like how we're using our ultimates, really, if we are just gonna push main. Because we threw both DPS ults and flux into a trance.
Yeah.
So this is kind of unfortunate. If we flux and then we bait out the trance and then either two things, the audio's gonna be all crunchy. Yeah, the audio's crunchy. So we flux to force out trance because we know they have it. Then we kite back. You're then, you know, everyone plays far back, right? Right. Wait out the trance. You're like over here or over here, right? Playing cover, playing safe. And then once that trance comes out, then you re-push and maybe we dragon cart and overclock to clean up, right? You know. But we kind of just spam all of them at once. You know? Yeah. Oh, the audio's terrible. I'm just gonna turn the audio off. Okay. Yeah, we forced them off high ground again. Or if they lose the first high ground. We're peeking around. We're all up here. Okay. Yeah, and this is good. Unfortunately, we get picked, but I think we still end up clearing them out. Yeah. Yeah. What do we see? What was the plan here? Like, what do you?
Their Sig's not up there. Let's push them.
Okay.
And then we take this. We're all in open space. They have cover.
Yeah.
And then
how can we minimize their cover or make the just get rid of their cover?
Playing around the cover on our side.
We could play around our cover, yeah. We can also push aggressively with back window, right? Like we turn this corner with back window with your shield, right? And they just explode.
Yeah.
Could have been more aggressive with our window once they push through. But no, the right idea, right? Their Sigma's not here. We take high ground. We tried to do it. It didn't end up working out. Right. But at least from your POV, we had the correct idea. And I think we definitely get. Oh, that's unfortunate. We definitely get a flux off before they have trance. I'm pretty sure. It was this fight that happened. Or the Zen just dies. Yeah, the Zen died. And then we flux. Yeah. Yeah, so...
I was trying to do the... have him land on my head so he didn't get MO.
Yeah. It's a good...
It's tough.
So what, So we just use our shield. Right? Our shield got melted. We just use suck. Right? Then we flux. Right, where do we want to end this flux? Because we don't have, we're coming back.
I don't think going to their high ground is a good idea.
Yeah. Why is
but
this?
I could have.
Why is this good?
Oh, I didn't think it was good, but.
Or why do we not think it's good? I guess
because I can just be killed.
You have a Kiriko now. She'll TP.
That is true. I forgot about that.
She can TP with you, and now you have.
She can just TP to me.
She have healing, right? And then we have.
If I would have taken that right at high ground, Ash would have died.
Yeah, and then what did we talk about on first point was setting up crossfires, right? And your Hanzo's also here too, right? Your Hanzo's here, you'd be here, and then your BAP and Soldier can play main, and put some pressure on, right? right? Because I look at this and we're, you know, the only person that's sort of on another angle is our Hanzo.
Yeah.
Right? When we can have a little more support on that. They also use chuck Qs on us.
Winston swap.
Yeah, and then we swap Winston. Yeah, but it's we clear these. We fight for this space so that we can use it for ourselves, right? And if the enemy team only has like one character up here, then we can take that. Be looking to take that, whether it's with our flux or whether that's with a rotation as a team. And we try to fight for it, doesn't work out, right? Yeah. And then we swap monkey. And again, that could be a swap you guys do right away, right? You get to third point, you dump your ult, and then swap, right? You can keep the soldier and maybe keep the Hanzo for his dragon, right? If he has it, or is about to get it.
Yeah, I had BAP swap because I didn't think we'd be able to use the window, even if we had it.
That's fine.
But I made the call for a play here with Hanzo ult.
Or like dragon high as you push?
Yeah. Perfect.
Nice. Yeah, no, that was good. Yeah, again, third point isn't bad for monkey. It's just the only hard part is they set up here and then crossing this open space.
Yeah.
Right? But maybe you can like jump into here, your Kiriko comes with you, you get healed up, and then you can jump high ground on your second jump, right? Use jump here, use bubble. Hopefully, you know, maybe they don't drop you because you have a crossfire set up with like your soldier or Hanzo over here. And then you know, next jump you come up here, maybe you have a flanker that's also pathing to pressure. So if you want to go monkey and you're more comfortable on that, if not, just what we talked about with Sigma. And then a big thing is just how we're using our ults to accomplish that, right? Because on second point you guys kind of rolled, right? Didn't really.
Yeah.
So it's what we're doing. And the thing you said with Hanzo here, Hanzo ult, that's good, right? And it won. It worked. How many times do we plan our ults out in other fights?
Probably not very often past like, let's use Kiriko ult here.
Right, and that you know, if the enemy team is planning out their ults a little better, it's just really, you know, we're putting ourselves at a disadvantage.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So.
All right, I have
yeah.
notes to just make sure I got certain things. With Hog, it's just like make sure I'm padding with cover, trying to stay out of open space. I'm not scary unless I have a hook, so. If I don't have hook, I should probably not be playing aggressive at all.
Yeah, like we can do, you know, play with it with our right clicks a lot more in Hog.
Yeah.
Until we have our hook back and then we peek.
Play aggro around the hook CD. Then once space is achieved, look for spots with cover.
Yeah, right. Cover and opportunities for getting our hooks off, right? Like the gem is really
look for
good.
Early hooks or like quote power positions.
Yeah.
And then if I miss the other hook, it doesn't matter because I'll just get it back.
Yeah.
And with Sig, just like play cover, and then I wouldn't have to use my shield as often.
Yeah, and one more thing with Hog, right, is, you know, you're Lucio, right? He's there, you know, your personal speed bot.
True.
Right, so you can get to positions that you otherwise would, you know, you can't get or would take way too long, right? You can use an amp speed to get there. And that can really, you know, a Hog in their backline hooking, you know, their Kiriko, the enemy team's Kiriko, really can create a lot more space and opportunity. Yeah. And then you were saying a Sigma?
I didn't really get much. I didn't really write down much as Sigma, but like Sigma, you can play cover, barely have to use shield, take high ground. That's in all caps.
Yeah.
And then like use ults / plan them.
Yeah. But
how like I'm gonna take space using them.
Yeah, right. Because you know you plan, you know, just with one ultimate dragon, you planned that out, and that we you know, you killed, what was it there? You pushed their Sigma.
Sig.
And yeah, and there's and you know, you cleared that. So we take high ground, right? So we can set up these angles, not only so we can clear their angles, right? So they don't set up a crossfire on us, but we can use that position to set up a crossfire on them, right? That's why I was saying we can go up here because your team is main, you're up here, and you have, especially since you had your Kiriko and Hanzo up here, they just kind of die, right? Because if they stay in this space that's on the screen, they can't stay there. They have to rotate up to clear you, or they just die. Or they have to push the rest of your team, and at that point you drop, and then you like, kind of sandwich them and pinch them, right?
Yeah.
And then what we're saying about the ults is making sure we use the ults to, increase
Like
the effect.
plan ults more, or like use ults to take space, or
Yeah, right. Like if they're on this high ground, right? How are we going to use our ultimates to clear them off this high ground, right?
I find like this spot specifically is very hard to take, but it's because it's really easy to defend.
Yes. So what can we, we can
because there's just one spot where they can come from, and then you can just spam that spot.
Yeah. Well, we look at there's the entire west side of the map, the other side of the map up here.
You don't have to take the high ground there, but
there's this way we can send. That's why I like having like a flanker or like just another DPS that can pressure, right? Like who can come over here and wrap around, right, and get behind them. I'm a big fan of Tracer, or maybe sometimes Genji, right? Having a Tracer pressure from behind as you guys are pushing forward. Well, now even if the Tracer's not killing anything, 2 or 3 people are looking at the Tracer, or at the very least 2, right? If they don't look at the Tracer just kills people as you guys are pressuring these positions, right?
Yeah.
That's just an option. It could also be like a soldier in E pressuring behind. Yeah. And then what we talked about there was that one fight, or I guess 2 fights, where your BAP just wasn't here, right?
Yeah.
It makes it a lot harder to pressure these positions if we're not getting healed or lamped, right? So making sure we have the resources that we need to do what we want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think there's anything else, but I guess if I think of something before like my scrim, I'll message you and ask.
Okay. Yeah, I do have one more thing, just because I watched the whole game on our attack, right? So I just want to see, I want us to watch this back and just look at what our cooldowns accomplish, right? Right, so like, did our shield? We blocked rock, right?
Just nothing.
Yeah, right. So and we just took a bunch of damage as well, and that we didn't really get anything out of that, right?
If I could have used like the shield to block the rock, and then we'll walk across with.
Would suck. And
grasp.
Now we're here, right? And we have our own rock to pressure. Maybe we just rock and insta kill their BAP or something, or just chill here, get healed, and then push up, right? If we just wanted to poke their high ground, right? Maybe we are poking from here, a little closer, a little more value out of our orbs. Then whenever we want to walk, then we walk with our shield or sock, right, and get here, right? And then every time we're not using an ability to cross open space, we're hugging cover and shooting, hug, shoot, right? Like we could be doing here.
Yeah.
So just making sure our abilities are getting value. And if we watch the rest of it, right? Like we shield.
Use grasp and walk under him.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's good. Yeah. Yeah, because there's a lot of times where I just, throughout, I think it's a lot more apparent on the second point, where we just don't even need our shield or suck. Yeah. Right? Like right there, we're full HP and we're sucking. Or grasping, right? Right, like we're throwing a rock, right? And what does our rock let us do?
Take space.
Take space how?
Because it forces their healers to look at the one guy that got rocked. Or they have to use a cooldown to block it.
They did, yeah, right? But what's a little more valuable than applying a little pressure with whoever gets rocked? What did you do to this? What did you say?
It would just be like walking.
Well, what did you do to the Baptiste when you rocked them?
Double combo.
Yeah, you rocked and killed them, right? With two orbs, right? That's what you can do here. You can pressure their Sigma shield, and now since they're in open space, you have that kill threat. It's like a Roadhog hook, right?
Yeah.
If they don't put cooldowns into you rocking and killing something, right? Then they just kind of die. And here we threw our rock out, but there's no real chance we can get that extra kill confirm. Exactly, right? And then our shield. What did our shield accomplish? Blocked. I'll slow down a little bit. It blocked a little bit of spam, but we have cover, right?
Yeah. I could have just healed it.
Yeah. Right? And like, what did this suck do? I don't think they're pressing any ults, right? Yeah. Right? We didn't really need that suck, so we can walk up over here, and now we have our suck and full shield and rock, right?
Yeah.
To kite out, and we apply so much pressure, right? Imagine if you're this Sigma and you see that, oh, he just used rock, broke his shield, and he has no suck. You're not scared of pushing him out, right?
Yeah.
Right. We'll look at okay. And again, that shield.
No reason to use shield. I'm at full HP and there's nothing happening.
And you have cover, right? Like the only thing is maybe we're shielding someone else, but we're not doing that. And maybe we're shielding like an ult, but we're not doing that, right? Yeah. And then, you know, just looking at the characters, maybe we rock this soldier, right? Apply pressure to her. Maybe we kill her. Maybe we don't, right? But then we kind of chucked it main, right?
Yeah. Got blocked by Sigma.
Yeah. There's ways to get a little bit more value out of your cooldowns, right? Making sure you're really using them for a defined purpose. Like this is good, right? We're blocking value out of the window, right? We put shield also to make sure they don't get value out of the window, and we get the kill threat with the rock, right? So this was a lot better, right? Yeah. And then going back to like when you were over here, if you were to take this spot with both your cooldowns, this sets up a really good crossfire, right? Because now you're here, your team is over here. If they walk into this space, you know, they have to worry about a lot more threats. And also, since you take this position, it allows your, like, where's your soldier? Dead. Okay. Well,
dead. If
you took this spot, right, and held this spot for a little bit, it allows your soldier to be over here.
Yeah.
Right? Your soldier.
Crossfire.
Yeah, if you're back here, your soldier can't. It's a little too scary for your soldier to just walk all the way over here, right? So getting a little bit more value out of your cooldowns, so you can take space without investing as much, allows your DPS to take better positions, right?
Yeah.
So now when they walk through this spot, there's a soldier in here putting in E, and then at any point she gets pressured, she slides, and she's literally like, you know, right behind you, right? Like she would be anyway in this example.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you said you have a scrim tonight?
I do, but this is like a collegiate scrim where I'm off-rolling, but I have an actual scrim tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you have any questions, like you said before the scrim, let me know and I'll answer when I can. Hopefully.
All right.
Cool.
Thank you.
No problem. Well, enjoy the rest of your Sunday.
Yeah, you too.
Peace.
See ya.